that crowd. They know who it is. They know the name. The next generation, indeed.
Next gen. That's his nickname.
What's up, Steelers fans? I'm sure you'll forgive me if I have a more somber tone than you're used to from a jovial guy like me, as we wait to hear the status of Kenny Pickett, who left the game just before halftime with that injured shoulder, and Minka Fitzpatrick with that hamstring. This thing could go a lot of ways for the Steelers team. With Cam Hayward being activated from the injured reserve and practicing again this week, I had high hopes for him, especially when he wasn't on the injury report coming to the game. But I guess I don't have to list him if he's just coming off just been activated. He doesn't need to get a game designation. He ended up being obviously inactive today, undressed, and I'm glad that he was. You don't want to play any games with him coming back from that injury, especially with the field the way it was today. It seemed like in that game, who's going to get out of this one alive? The way that guys are dropping like flies out there. The game didn't seem particularly fun, even to watch at home, with how hazy it was. I'm sure it was an absolute nightmare to be there in person. But it was a cool moment for James Harrison and his sons. As a rule, any kid that age is going to go through life thinking that his dad is just some head whose his sole purpose is to keep you from having fun. For those boys to see their dad be so loved and cherished and embraced by a community of people as strong and tight-knit as Steelers Nation must be really cool for them. As cool a moment as that was for James Harrison's sons, as cool a moment for Joey Porter Jr.'s father, seeing his son's first game starting in the same uniform that he wore to such acclaim for so many years. I thought Joey played a pretty good game today. That deep touchdown to ETN notwithstanding, if Charles Davis was correct and that was a cover 2 defense there, then Joey Porter's responsibility was the short curl there, the short zone, and the deep route was the responsibility of the safety coming over the top, Casey, who was a little late getting over there. That may be some of the cause and effect of filling in for a guy like Minka, having a guy in that role who hasn't repped that role very much this year. And once he tries to jump that route and go underneath on it, there's no chance that he has of tracking down the run after the catch. And actually a pretty good job in recovery of Joey Porter of tracking that down and almost getting in on that play at the end. It was just a wonderful throw from Trevor Lawrence right in the seam in the zone. And a guy made a great play and beat you. I have some words I'd like to say about the officiating in this game, starting with the pass interference on James Pierre. That flag came in awful late. It seemed like they were going to call a penalty on the celebration, but we've seen that the seatbelt celebration from everyone in the NFL and college football, and it's never been a problem. You just look so foolish throwing that flag so late. No, if it's a penalty, you have to know it's a penalty from the start. You can't think about it for that long. And if you have to think about it for that long, if you're not sure, then you may as well just leave it in your belt anyway, because it's probably a borderline thing. The roughing the passer on Keanu Neal hit him right in the strike zone. They've been trying to preach. Didn't hit him high, didn't hit him low. And the being driven in the ground by the fearsome body weight of a defensive back is nothing compared to what the Jaguars did twice to Kenny Pickett, including on the play that hurt him, where they had big linemen either falling on top of him with their full weight, and it doesn't matter at all if Kenny Pickett is sideways or flat on, as Charles Davis was saying. The defenders were still landing on top of him with their full weight. And the other time he was just shoved into the dirt a step and a half after he got rid of the ball and had time to turn around and try to turtle and take the hit. They were still going out of their way to try to hurt him. And when's the last time TJ Watt benefited from a holding call? How often are we going to have to watch him just tackled by the neck? The interception that Casey had, Trevor Lawrence trying to throw in the corner of the end zone there. I think Lawrence was either trying to throw out of the back of the end zone, trying to throw that ball away, or he was trying to lead Calvin Ridley into the corner there. And either Lawrence was fading back when he made the pass, either it was a platform issue with the throw, or it just slipped out of his hand with the rain. But I think that ball certainly didn't end up where he intended it to. The decision to run that ball out, I don't think Casey wanted to bring it out. I think Landon Roberts talked him into it. Obviously, it was a mistake, and setting your own offense up at the 2-yard line with Kenny starting a drive with his heels planted on the goal line. They were able to drive almost all the way down the field and finish there, but had to settle for the field goal. Speaking of that first field goal, if the Steelers' field goal formation is illegal and you had to take points off the board for an illegal field goal just before halftime, why wasn't it an issue the first time they kicked a field goal? I think they probably use the same field. They line up the same every time they kick a field goal. If you notice something funky about their formation, it happens all the time in the NFL where officials are like, listen, I didn't want to stop the game because of it. Because it's a rule that obviously the coach doesn't even know, the announcer doesn't know, nobody in here knows, so nobody's going to be happy if I have to bring all the proceedings to a halt because of a rule that only I knew. And they could have taken him aside and given him a heads up about that, but they didn't. And I think that's the frustration you were seeing Tomlin and Danny Smith expressing to the female referee there on the sideline. I took a video of that and put it on Twitter, and I think it kind of blew up for the wrong reasons. I got a couple too many thousand likes, a couple too fast. I think people were liking it for the wrong reason, thinking that I'm saying, yeah, girls can't know sports. When really what I was saying is the sexist move would be to think that the female referee can't handle the criticism that a male would receive if they had made the same decision. I didn't see who made the call, who threw the flag. All I'm basing that on is the coach's frustration with this referee. And it seemed like they felt like she had made a wrong call, or she wasn't giving them the explanation that they needed at that time. And looking at her body language, it seemed like she knew that she had made a mistake, and she was trying to say, listen, I can't do anything about it now. We just have to move on and keep playing. And Tomlin was like, oh, like, you messed up. We can't not fix this. I'm on the rules committee. We have to make this work. And she was either unwilling or unable to have that conversation, and hence the frustration. And you saw that same official on the ETN fumble. She was very emphatically ruling that he was down by contact, and you saw another official come in and overrule her. And the two angles that they showed of replay, it was very clear from one angle that you could see that ball moving, and from the angle that she was looking at it you couldn't have seen it moving, and you did see that knee come in awful fast. So it was comical to look at, but you would have made the same call too if you were looking at it from that angle. But I've spent a long time now talking about a thing that I don't like to make excuses on as the officiating. You'd like your guys to win the game within the lines of the field and not leave it in the officials' not leave it in the officials' hands. But we didn't make enough plays today. The Steelers didn't. I hate to be one of those we guys. Steelers didn't make enough plays today. With Trubisky coming into that game, you started to think, I don't know, can this defense maybe steal a couple, 2-3 extra possessions in this one for us after they had already given us 3 freebies? And that touchdown to Pickens, you like to see that. Maybe he is an alien after all. We all laughed at the time when he said it, but the way that he's able to hurdle and keep his balance and get in the end zone there. But when crunch time came about and the tough had to get going, Mitch just time after time checking it down, and that sure was getting frustrating. And we'll have to wait till we see the All-22 to see what he was looking at and why he couldn't uncork one of those deep. And he did uncork one deep to Pickens that could have very well been another interception there, throwing into a zone coverage there. It's all over tape now that, don't leave George Pickens one-on-one on the outside. If a team has a lead and they don't need to pull out all the stops in order to get after you and force the issue with their pass rush, they're going to leave as many guys as they can in the back end. And that's what you saw today. And Pickens and Deontay, Calvin Austin, those guys just unable to find the seams. Mitch Trubisky not able to work to thread those needles. You heard the announcer say that at a certain point he's going to need to stop taking what the defense is giving him and force the issue. But when he did try to do that, you saw the near interception to Pickens up the right sideline. You saw the interception on the Hail Mary into the end zone where the Steelers receivers showed very little effort there on the back end. The Steelers receivers were just gassed trying to get on top of the defense, snap after snap after snap, and Trubisky just giving up on them and dunking it down. So that game was really over a while before the clock hit 000. The Trubisky interception over the middle, he had George Pickens in man-to-man coming over the middle there with a safety over the top who was playing too high to come down on that ball to make a play. The underneath guy had his back to Pickens, so he can't make a play on the ball. And that anyone of you would have made that same throw. had you not been seeing the whole field, and had you not known that there was a guy playing a quarterback spy, or not a spy, he was in like a robber, a linebacker there, playing an underneath zone, ready to come across and make a play on that ball. And, that's Trubisky wasn't seeing the entire field. And it's hard to expect a guy who's been repping the scout team to come in and to perform at a high level like that against a top tier NFL defense like the Jaguars are. But looking to the future, short week for the Steelers, getting back at it on Thursday. A lot to talk about. Not a long time to figure it out. The players, I'm sure they don't like having to turn it around that quick, but for us as fans, we love it. Only having to wait 3 days without Steelers football. God, we really are addicts, aren't we? Have a good week, Steelers fans.